All right, so now can we get our next group of panelists up here? How many of you theme camp leaders out there often find yourself getting late at Burning Man? Raise your hand. And how do you fit that in with all of the stuff you have to do? It's pretty challenging, right? Delegation is one of the ways. So here is Little Jack. He's going to be your moderator today from Hushville. And take it away. Let's talk about getting late at Burning Man.
So I'm going to use this mic. Is this one live? And I'm going to hand this one to the panelists. Oh, sorry. All right. So first of all, I got to apologize because I'm closing that. They gave us 35 minutes to do 4 panels worth of information. So this is going to be quick, brutal, no more than 2 answers per question. I'm going to do the introductions. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not usually this. I don't usually get laid this in a hurry. But today's an exception because I love you all and there's a lot of you to take care of today. So, I'm Little Jack. I'm with Hushville, 10 Burns. We're a village with theme camps and individuals. We're about 300 people. Doug from Reverbia. There you are. You're over there. Hi. Well, he is. Do you want us in order? No, I want you in no order at all. Chaos. Fucking chaos. So, Doug from Reverbia, village camp I am, died in 2009, and Doug said, hell, I'll run a camp, but, you know, it's got to be something awesome and music, and so he formed Camp Reverbia, which is the home of live music on the playa. In 2017, 280 people, 280, 4 stages, 25 acts, 129, to be precise, hours of live music programming. The portal of live music, rock on. Filchi, Swing City, comes from the body movement, body motion movement that started in Muscle Beach, which I learned originated in Santa Monica, not Venice. So the ethos of bodyweight movement and culture, that movement is the founder of modern gymnastics, modern non-animal circuses, slacklining, all the fun circus arts we love to do. And speaking of circus arts, we have Heather of Red Nose District, who is often chasing people down Esplanade on stilts. And Red Nose District has got 9 years of burns under her belt, loves connections, the lessons, heartwarming, mind-melting experiences. So you can learn circus shenanigans, and everyone's invited to play and co-create the fun that we all love as citizens of Black Rock Cities. You can learn to get high on stilts. We promise a lot here, getting laid, getting high, and it has nothing to do with what we all hope it is. So that's Heather. Marisa, Death Guild Thunder. Does anybody not know Death Guild Thunderdome? Right. I mean, yeah. She wrote something really wonderful, but fuck, it's Marisa from Death Guild. And sings and is amazing, and it's fucking Death Guild. All right, so, what do you need? So, laid, logistics, assets, infrastructure. Say again? Oh, shit, Mr. Okay, what the hell, man? That's Mr. Okay, he's okay. I'm not, because I left him out like a dick.
That's a perfect introduction. You can go on.
All right, Mr. Okay from Camp Okay, not okay. Yeah, sorry, dude. Founded in 2009. They also have the Torch Mutant vehicle, which is very cool. Logistics, assets, infrastructure, delegation. So we're going to jump. I've got a few questions. I'm going to do like 10 minutes of questions, and I'm going to open it up mostly to you guys. I'm starting my timer now because really, look at you go. Let's set that to max yours then. Because we need to answer all of your questions. All right, so we're going to start with logistics. Hey, Doug. There you are. There you are. You're right there. Yeah, you're the one who's called Doug. Right. Someone pass Doug a mic. So how do you handle the details of logistics? Do you live in spreadsheets? Do you just keep it all in your head? How do you deal with all the logistics, all the shit to keep track of?
That's another lead that does that in our camp, actually. I delegate that, yes. Delegation.
All right. Well, then pass on to Heather.
We use Heather. We do use Google Doc, and there's other. I'm looking for something better. We've started using Heather. Go ahead.
Sorry, dude.
So I'm super fortunate to have Deke over there who does all the budget tracking and that kind of spreadsheets. But yeah, we basically live in spreadsheets and in Google Drive and just kind of coordinate everything there. Last year we had conference calls, we had a lot of emails. That was a giant pain in my ass and super time consuming. So hopefully we can move to something like Slack and keep things going a little bit more.
How many use Slack? Hands? A lot. All right. How many use like Yahoo groups? Yeah, we suck. All right. It's awful. Getting stuff to and from Playa. Who wants to talk about getting all your crap to and from Playa? Marisa? Yeah, you got a lot of stuff.
We have a lot of stuff. So we store our stuff that we only use at Burning Man is stored in a container on the 80. I don't know if that's still available to people generally, or if we're just grandfathered. So I'm sorry if that's not available to everybody, but that's pretty awesome. And then we have a storage unit in Alameda. Most of our crew is based in the Bay Area, and we do 4 events, up to 4 events a year. 2 unpaid, 2 paid. They tend to pay for themselves, each other. And so we need all of our stuff, mostly the dome and giant sound system that are stored in Alameda. And we make new weapons each year, so various everything that we need for running an event that we go out and do and get paid for is stored in Alameda. It's one of our biggest expenses. So the storage unit is about $3,500 a year, and transpo to and from the Playa is about $4,000. So those are 2 of our biggest expenditures.
So you transpo the whole container from Alameda?
No, the container that's at the 80, we pay to have that transpoed each year, and then we have super fun truckload and unload parties 8 times a year.
8?
And so typically the events are Burning Man, end of September, and then 2 in October. So we have a crew that runs, that basically this is all they're doing for 3.5, 4 months.
Does anybody else up here use a shipping container? Doug, how do you work with your shipping container?
Well, when you say shipping container, we are with the BlackRock shipping container department. So we get a container that's sent out to our property that they place. And then also we have a bay area, or we have several bays in a barn in Eugene, Oregon.
Nice.
And that's where we store our stuff that we need to take off Playa, that we want to clean and take care of and tend to. And we actually transport we rent vehicles to transport now because we just don't want a truck to break down anymore, because we had a lot of experience of someone lending us a truck and then it breaks down. So now we just make sure that it's not going to break down. We rent something. And so we have a full service kitchen that we are operating that serves 280 people last year, which is a lot.
It's a lot of meals.
And so they bring a transport truck and a kitchen trailer. And this year we've never had a reefer truck. This year we're going to try to get a reefer trailer so that we can preserve food better than just tons of, or lots and lots of ice chests. You know.
So what night is the steak dinner? When am I coming by?
Pardon?
What night is the steak dinner? What night am I coming by? Oh, no, sorry.
Every day and night. So then we also bring a transport for our infrastructure that brings the materials from our storage unit in Eugene. And then we have a sound system that comes from LA that we have another storage truck that picks up, brings a generator, and then we pick up a rental generator out of Eugene, or out of Reno.
So it sounds like everything's nicely consolidated on at least the Western Hemisphere of the United States.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's impressive.
I don't have anything to say on this subject. It took us 6 years to get our stuff up to Reno, and someday we'll have access to one of those containers, I hope. That's all I have to say.
I'm actually going to jump a little bit because, dude, 35 minutes for 4 topics. Infrastructure fits nicely into logistics, but to mix it up, I'm going to skip over that and go to assets and then come back to it. So let's talk money, because we talked money in terms of what kind of organizations we all are. And there's been obviously some issues around transparency recently that have been fairly public. Marisa, how do you handle your camp assets? Because you're massive. Not you, your camp is massive. You're quite svelte.
That's okay, I'm comfortable. We're actually about 45 to 55 people. Our camp dues are $150. Our total running costs for Burning Man or our year is about $15,000. We don't feed people, we don't provide power, we don't provide water. The only thing we provide on Playa is porta potties. So we run super lean, and we have these events that pay for what we do. So camp fees don't cover everything, and we rely on external events paying us. We've performed for Knotfest, and Ghost Ship, not the one in Oakland, the one at Pier 70. So just to be clear, because yeah, it's terrible. A couple years ago, we formed an LLC because when you manage Thunderdome, you don't want those injuries in your name if you're doing things like insurance. So we formed an LLC mostly just to protect ourselves. Most everything is in my name, and my second is Chris Carrico here in the audience, and he is now assuming partial responsibility. So yeah, we formed an LLC. That's how we protect our stuff.
That makes sense. Mr. Okay, how do you guys handle assets?
Strictly money assets or the investments?
Let's start with financial assets. That's an excellent question.
We actually switched to something similar to how Burning Man handles the directed group sales. It's based on previous year's contribution. So you can get the cheapest level, which I think is 400 with us, because we do provide, we hold our team to 35. We could go larger, but the consensus within the team is 35 is our max. So we do a lot of serious labor with those 35 people, and so if you have a proven history of contribution with lifting lumber or loading trucks and stuff, then you get the cheapest tier. If you are a good worker on playa, but not before and after because you're in Kauai or something, then you get the second cheapest tier.
Cheapest tier.
Yeah, cheapest tier.
That.
And then we have the tier for someone who's brand new. They don't have any previous experience with the burn or with us. They are sponsored by someone. They're not coming out of blue. We don't have any public sign up or anything. But they do pay the most. And in the end, I think our budget comes out to, similar to yours, like $14,000, $15,000. But we are out of Los Angeles, and we keep our materials in Los Angeles because we do the regional burn, which we just did last weekend. That's crazy. And we don't see a lot of theme camps at the LA Regional because the logistics of doing what we do, like how do you keep your stuff in LA and get it up? Our single biggest cost is the truck. What is the number, Monica? My number 2 is right there. $5,000 just to get it there and back.
Down to Filchi.
I was just saying, we moved 3 trucks from LA, so I feel you on that. It's our biggest expense. If we were able to figure out a way to have everything much closer, it would save us so much.
So I think maybe you guys could work together, and maybe that leads to delegation. See what I did there? Smooth. So there's a shitload to do on Playa, like Iwo Jima over here. How do you delegate? You do it. How do you not drive yourselves crazy as theme camp leads? So Filchi, talk about delegation.
So for delegation, we use a system we call the Chinese finger trap. The idea is that we have a lot of engineers and very imaginative people in the camp, and we're always trying to encourage people to think about what we can do better. And so the more you're interested in developing something better, the more responsibility you're given. So we actually run 2 different camps at the same time. We run this year's camp, and we're also building next year's camp at the same time.
That makes sense.
And so we try really hard to double up responsibilities for things. So if someone wants to work on a particular project, they're getting paired with somebody else. The idea being that if I am running a project and then I decide that I'm going to go take a vacation in Tahiti, or my mother dies or something, and I'm not able to participate, all of the knowledge that I've been able to accumulate running a project during the course of the year is now in someone else's hands because they both know about it. So we're running, our leadership of the camp is essentially doubled, all of our camp infrastructure is essentially doubled, and we run 1 year after the next. So
nice.
It creates a lot of opportunities for people to step up, and it used to be that we used to try really hard to say, hey, everyone step up and do this thing, and people would say, I want to do that, and then nothing would really happen. And then when we realized that we could get people engaged through imagination and through the Chinese finger trap, it became much more effective over time.
Cool. Anybody else want to talk about how they delegate?
We can. So 4 years back, we had a very big project with a circus tent and a bunch of bumper cars, and it took a lot of time and a lot of energy to run. Since that was easy to delegate because there were kind of earmarked projects and so on and so forth, and our leaders at that time did a really great job Since then, we've had a few leadership changes and kind of challenges in there. So we're actually in the process of restructuring because our camp got a little bit of a vibe of, what am I paying for to be here? What am I, what are you giving me in this experience? And so we are going back to basics and reordering and reorganizing everything that we're doing so that everyone knows that everyone pays, everyone participates, everyone works. So we're open to suggestions about how to do that well.
How do you guys' strike teams work? I mean, setup is great because everybody wants a work access pass, but dealing with delegating strike. Anyone? We just walk the fuck away.
Stay till it's done or you don't get to go to the pepper mill.
Is that a curse or a promise?
Is that complicated? So, I mean, it's yeah, it's...
One of the greatest things if you want to organize your camp is find a group of people who are trying to get a theme camp but they didn't get placed and they're from Canada. I noticed that when we added the Canadians to our camp, it was like watching Oompa Loompas starting to work. They just start going Oompa Loompa, and they start working, and everyone in the camp's going like, I better get in line and work too. Jeez, my God, they're all working. They really organized our camp in an amazing way, this group out of Vancouver. And so what we do is we have actually an exit team. And we started that a few years ago. I'm always strategizing. I'm always thinking of how can we correct this and how can we make this better. And I'm always about growth. I want to keep growing. I just want to see, when I started Reverbia, I just wanted to see how far I could grow. And I have a lot of people who said, we're too big. We got to stop. We should only be 75 people. And I said, no, I want to do a main stage that's big, and then I need more people to staff it. So I kept just wanting it to grow. So we have our growing pains. But the thing that we started a few years ago strategizing was an exit team. And so what we do is everyone at our camp has, and I'm sure all your camps, maybe they're different if you're smaller to larger, but when you're large, we want to make sure everyone that comes to our camp is working, they're volunteering. So we have a huge volunteer coordinator who takes on a big role, and we operate on a point system. We used to do an hourly, but now we do a point system that's kind of quasi-close to an hourly, so you have to service like 15 points during the week, and we have like some shifts that are weighted.
Like college credits.
Like late night dishwashing, or working right before the burn, or something like that. So we point it. So now people will say, I'll do 6 points and wash dishes for 4 hours that night. So that's how we've done it to get certain shifts covered, because we want people to volunteer for shifts. We don't want them to get stuck with a shift. And so that's what has happened. And those shifts, actually, the weighted fill up really quick now. They're the first to go. So anyways, we have a point system also for the exit team. And we give you full service points if you stay those extra 2 days, and it's worked. We have a team that stays and does it, and also we strike our camp. The entire camp strikes on Sunday, and now I know that we're thinking about maybe I want to do it on Monday, but everyone says no, we got to do it on Sunday. So we strike on Sunday. We get a lot of laborers, many workers, right? Many bees. It just happens, and we just tear everything down so quickly. And so then a few remnants who don't want to get caught in traffic, they'll stay on Monday, and they'll work through Monday. But our exit team is designated from Monday and Tuesday. They have to stay until the final mooping is done to the way we want it. So usually we've gotten it all done, and we're on 300 by 400 feet.
All right.
So we have a
big
one
of the village double blocks.
Pardon?
If it's 400 feet deep, then you're on one of the village double blocks? Like A to G?
Yeah, we're big, but we're not a village. We're
okay,
like
but the double, anyway. So that's great, because you talked about infrastructure, you talked about delegation, you talked about strike. You just covered everything, dude. That was awesome. All right, I got less than 20 minutes left. We are running lower. Actually, I got 50. Oh, thank you. You added a minute more than I have. I got 15 and a half or 16 minutes for questions. We have a brilliant freaking panel up here. Question there, please. Wait for the mic.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Joe Gananda with Camp Mystic. I took over the role of the treasurer this year. So I'm really interested in the asset part of it. We had one answer with the LLC, and then you skipped over it. But can we talk about other creative solutions to mitigating risk and holding all of the assets of the camp, and how do we do that in a fair way that both respects the culture but also respects the people that are taking the risk and actually showing up and doing the work?
So our camp is a S corporation, and we set up that way because we have things that are risky for folks, and we wanted one more layer of liability protection. So a lot of our budget stuff, oftentimes, and asset stuff. Oh my God, I totally just lost my train of thought.
Filchi,
Protected
Marisa?
by the S Corp? Is that the rest of the sentence? Okay.
I understand that there's a model in camps we call it the beneficent tyrant model, where someone puts $20,000 down to make a camp happen, something like that. What we found is that we were trying to do it as an ad hoc group of friends for many years, and whenever something would go wrong, someone would end up having to pull money out of their pocket. So someone would have to end up with putting 1,000 into it or 5,000 into it. I think at one point I was owed $6,000 or $7,000. We formed 3 years ago. We formed an LLC, and now we have a credit line, and now we have insurance. And so whenever emergencies happen, it doesn't come out of any particular person's pocket anymore, and we're insured, and it's just made everyone feel a lot more secure and comfortable about continuing to do this.
Great, thank you. Next question. I'm trying to do no more than 2 answers per question because there's a lot of you. Next question. You're live.
I'm live. My name is Love. I'm with Skytown Village. I didn't say that last time, so hello, everybody. My question is how you handle delegation when things go wrong. It's ideal when things go right, when people step up, when people do what they say they will do, but I want to know how you handle things when shit goes to the fan. What do you do when someone doesn't show? What do you do when someone doesn't do what they say they will, especially on key roles or key things or key shifts, like whatever it is that's important. We can live without a shower. What do you do when things go wrong with really important areas of volunteering or work?
It's Burning Man. So I am deeply okay if somebody's like, I want to lead something. It's like, absolutely, and you can fail. And if you fail, that means we open the dome a day late. And then what happens? Nothing, right? Except everyone in camp is annoyed at that person. So it's really, it becomes a social pressure thing to do the thing that you said that you were going to do. If you volunteer for something, or if you make a suggestion, that then becomes your job to do. And so being okay with failure. When we do paid events, that operates a little differently. But for things like Burning Man, it's like that's a great place for somebody to show awesome leadership, for somebody to step up, and for somebody to really see what it takes when they say, I want to do a thing. Like, please do the thing. And you'll have all the support that you want. But redefine failure. That's what we've done, is definitely redefine failure. Redefine what that looks like. Because people are freaking out, like, oh my God, we're not going to open today. Like, okay. Yeah, we didn't get the crane. Something happened. It's okay. And it's your vacation. You're working really, really fucking hard to be there, and all of you are producing an amazing thing, whatever it is. You're here because you're producing something fantastic. Enjoy it. Like, it's, and somebody who steps up and then fails is probably not going to step up again. Or they've learned a valuable lesson.
The name of our camp, Okay Not Okay, is just another way of saying yin and yang, and you got to roll with those things. The incentives at Burning Man are completely opposite than the real world. No one's, well, not no one. Some of us are being paid to go to Burning Man, but most of us pay to go to Burning Man and pay to do this work and pay to give you this stuff out of our own pockets. And so when someone is disincentivized for whatever reason, they're exhausted, they've had too much fun, you probably have some other person in your camp who is incentivized to take their place, either as a friend to them or as here's an opportunity for me to get to work with Mr. OK personally. And I have loved those moments. Those are the moments that I stay in camp 90% of the time to have the opportunity with. As you go through your Burning Man experience, what you want out of it will change, and here we all are with this as our experience. And that kind of adverse circumstances are some of the most pleasurable. Funnily, yeah, that's it.
Nice, thank you. Next question, please. There.
Hey, so you mentioned Slack, but what other tech or websites or apps do you use that you find to be like very?
I'll give it a quick one. To this Basecamp rocks. Anybody using Basecamp? Basecamp is a solution. And I'm
Is that
not
the one
kidding.
that they announced here last year?
No, they've been around for a long time. That's what Ruby on Rails was pulled out of. It's an old project. It's great because it integrates everything. It has all of the different pieces. It has a place to organize your Google Docs. It has projects. You can split projects down to any level you need. It's the best, and that's my strong opinion.
I mean, Facebook groups, Google Docs.
The same.
There's another question.
I was going to say we're actually developing a wiki model. We have because we like Slack, but it's too expensive for the entire camp to use, and Google Docs is difficult to manage because everyone has 15 different Google accounts. So we're using a mixture of an internally built wiki with Google Docs and Slack, and depending on where you are in the project will be how you interface with it. So far, it seems to be really cool.
Cool. Next question.
Hi, I'm Jen from Cuddle or Die. You touched on it very briefly, but I was curious how you break out of that mindset of what am I getting for my camp dues? Not just from the people coming in, but also from yourselves. Like, what are we providing for our campers coming in, and how are we appealing ourselves to them?
We work really hard. If you camp with Thunderdome, we don't take virgins because the expectation is that if you're a full camp member, you're working from your meeting at 7 p.m. and you're done at 1 a.m. You're there because you want to be at Thunderdome. And I had somebody in line for fighting last year say, I want to camp with you guys. What are your camp dues? And I said, they're $150. They're also a week of work in advance. You're expected to be there during setup. You get Sunday off before the event, the day the event starts, if weather's good, and then you're just expected to work. And then you tear down, but it draws a very specific type of person to camp. And I think that that's what has to be the coin of your realm. Is like, for us, we work together to produce something that we love to do. That is what we want. And it can't be about camp dues. Camp dues should be secondary to what you're there for. And we've created this environment where if you don't like hard work with awesome people who like to drink, okay, we don't all drink, but like if you don't like that, you might spend a year as a sponsee of someone, but you're probably not, it's not going to be a good fit. And I think that the focus should really be on what's your mission, what's your end experience for the people in camp, and what experience are you creating for the participants at the event. And if that doesn't appeal to you, you don't belong there.
Cheers to that. But I think on the Facebook group here, I probably made a couple of surly people have criticized me, but I do not use the word dues or fees in any of our communication because it's not what they are. It's not. It's a cost share. You're sharing the cost amongst your members, and that clearly outlines exactly what they're getting out of it. They are not getting anything other than having shared the cost. That's it. And if you resist that, it's like, are you joining a country club? I mean, it's not, you're using the wrong language to describe the thing that you're asking people to pay for.
I like that. Shared fees. That's
cost share.
Fantastic.
Cost share. It's 2 words instead of 1, but it makes a big difference.
Okay, next question. I told you guys I was going to be brutal. Back there was one. Oh, wait for the microphone. Stand up. There we go. Hello.
What do you do to address the issues of transparency and the cost share, fee structure?
Hold on, microphone.
Yeah. I mean, that afterburn report.
And what's in your afterburn report? And how do you format it? Is it a line by line? Is it a line item budget spreadsheet? Is it just a We spent X.
I don't want to keep talking about it. I mean, if you've looked at the Burning Man Afterburn report, there is your answer. Just do what they do, and you don't have to think about it. Just be clear about where the money is. Maybe you don't get down to the penny, but you say percentage of this went to this and this, and people will give it like 2 minutes of thought and move on. And the people who want to have more involvement in that side of thing will become your partner in that. Like Monica has taken over that side of things, and our finances have run great ever since. So,
Doug, you were looking to answer this one too?
We have a public spreadsheet. It's available to within camp. It's available to any full member of camp. You know exactly where every dime of your money is going.
Yeah, I'm listening and I'm thinking here, and it's like our camp. We have a budget, and we have a spreadsheet for that budget, and it's open to whoever really wants to inquire about it. Nobody ever has asked us, we want to see the budget in our camp. We've just never had anyone say that. Our camp fees, I thought, I was interested when everyone was raising their hand about the cost of camp fees, because I thought we were a discount camp. I was always proud of that we're a discount camp. But I'm seeing that we're not. We're over $300 to camp with us. But we include meals. And we have Chef Eric, who's like, my God, I found this guy in the playa years ago, got him to come and camp with us, which is a lot about delegation, is finding people that you meet that you say, gosh, I want this guy to come to our camp and be a part of it. And that's if you can network as a lead and find people like that and get them to sell them on your camp and your ideas, you can have a great leadership team. And that's what we've always had, is amazing leadership, because I spot check and I meet people, and other leads meet people.
But how does this relate to financial transparency?
So my thing is
let's stay on topic, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay. So we have the budget, it's available, we have a fee that covers our budget, and I was going to expand on something, but I was going to expand on something. But
Quick question for everyone out here. For those who have camp fees, camp dues, cost share, whatever, how many feel it's appropriate, whether you do or not, how many feel it's appropriate for those fees or dues or cost share to cover the cost of the ticket of the theme camp organizer or the leadership? Oh, and there's a huge zero hands. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. Okay, next question.
Wait. You know what?
I'm filling up here. Back there.
I wanted to say something on that. Really important. It's valuable.
Quick. I got 2 minutes.
Our leads are always challenging me about, it seems like they want more and more, like they want tickets covered, and because they're putting so much work and energy in. And I've always felt that if we pay fees and we pay, then nobody in our camp can complain, because we're all paying together.
Right.
And so it keeps them
egalitarianism.
From saying, hey, we want more for our money, because I say, no, we're all paying equal.
We're all in this together. Absolutely. Nicole, you had a question back there?
Hi, my question is more about when you're at the beginning stage of forming a group. How do you get everyone to coalesce around how much money, who is going to lead, what your main idea of what your ideal activity and all that is going to be. How do you get everyone working together on the same page?
Who wants this one?
I feel like it's cheating to answer this question, because you know what you're getting into when you camp with us. So
yeah, how do you start a camp and build this? Yeah, it's a good question.
I think it's the exact same thing, because everyone who gets involved in us knows exactly what we do. We do very dangerous shit, and we have a lot of fun doing it, and we work really fucking hard to make it happen. I think that it doesn't matter whether it's the kind of stuff that we do or anybody else. If you have a very strong theme of interactivity, then it's very clear why you're involved. And if you're just trying to figure that out, then you're not a theme camp.
Nice. Okay, I have 2 minutes left, so I'm going to end. No more questions. I'm going to thank the founders of the panel, the people who created the panel. Candy S., who, by the way, was the one raising her hand, who has 21 plus years. Yeah, so Candy S., phenomenal. And Arena, who put this panel together, so thank you. And I want to give everyone 30 seconds to do one last thing. Oh, I forgot to say, but just as a quick farewell, I'm Little Jack from Hushville. We have Doug from Reverbia, Phil T from Swing City, Mr. OK from Camp OK Not OK, Marisa, of course, from Death Guild Thunderdome, and Heather from the Red Nose District. Filter Mount will start this way and go this way. For the last comments, you have up to 30 seconds.
You should just take off your pants.
I really want to emphasize to lead by example, and to know this is why I always have to tell especially our build team, who takes a lot of ownership in the camp, and they get frustrated when we have a lot of camp people coming in during the week. And I emphasize to them, I say that the first thing I say, and for people that are newbies, we take on newbies. We'll take on internationals and newbies. We love them. And the thing is, I always say is that some people are giant steps, and some people take baby steps. And sometimes I've seen people who come in that first year taking baby steps become future leaders for our camp. Mm-hmm. And so I just always say, be patient and tolerant and educate them and teach them. You never know who the leader's going to be. It might be that guy who's over there who's a sparkle pony this year. He might be the leader in 3 years. And I've seen that. So nice. I emphasize that, to be patient and tolerant. And we want that on our leadership team. And if they're not that way, then I say maybe this leadership role is not for you. And for the build team, I say, look.
That's your 30 seconds,
build
dude.
everything. And when the campers come, it's the energy accelerates, and we're all going to have a great time, and that's how it works.
Nice. Thank you.
We're a long-standing camp in a bunch of different iterations, and it's okay to go back to basics, and that's what we're learning this year. And it's okay to simplify things. It's okay to get really transparent. It's okay to restructure your leadership and let go of things we've done in the past to make it more functional and pass that vibe on to the people that we camp with. So hopefully that passes on to the people who come visit us.
Nice, thank you.
Strong mission. This will be our 20th year on Playa. We're super proud. And the people make it. It's phenomenal. And now it's a family. It's a tribe of people. And if you put out that mission, you will continue to draw the right people. We have people, I've been doing this for 20 years now, and we draw people that are in their 20s now, and they are just as excited and awesome, and they just want to take on as much stuff as we wanted to take on when we were that age, and that is how you keep going. Now we take vacations together. We spend the whole fucking year together, and that will keep your camp going for as long as you want it to. New blood.
Said the leader of Death Guild.
Love. We're assholes.
Fuck your burn.
Quickly, your attitude during the build will set the tone for the rest of the week. So, that's it.
So now you all know how to get laid at Burning Man. If you have any more questions, I'll be around. These guys will be around. Thank you so much for your questions. Thank you, panelists, for being terse. I apologize again for being so brutal on the time. We didn't have much to work with. So thank you all. You were phenomenal. Thank you.